next thing we're going to hook up is a flow box, which is a flow meter assembly with a stainless needle valve, so you can adjust the waste ratio and monitor the unit. To do that, we're going to remove these 1/4-20 socket head screws at the top of the unit, and you simply place the flow box on top. There are some holes in the bottom of the flow box here. The rearmost ones line up with the holes on top of the GX, and we're going to put the 1/4-20s back in. I'm not going to snug them down too much here. And line it up to the front, like so. And it's just about that simple. Now we're going to plumb up the flow box. Let's start with the drain line. All drain lines on GrowoniX water filters are black, and all the permeate lines, or the RO lines, are white. And we're going to take the black line and come out of the black fitting on the membrane housing. That's the drain fitting. And we're going to go up and go to the input of the stainless needle valve over here. So we're just going to plumb around. I'm going to get the tubing in about the right place, make a cut, and put it in. Now, you can run your tubing any way you want. You can get creative with it. It depends where you're going to mount the pump. The flow box doesn't have to get mounted on top of the unit. You can mount it on the wall where it's easy to control. But for here, I'm just going to mount it like this. So the drain from the membrane is going into the needle valve, which is going to be the drain flow meter, entering on the bottom. The water goes through the flow meter and it comes out the top. And this is going to go to drain. Now, you can use the drain saddle that comes with the RO. You can plumb it to a sink or whatever. For now, we're just going to stick it over here while we move on to the permeate side. Now for the RO side, we're going to plug into the white fitting at the end of the membrane housing, which is over here. Just like that. And we're going to run this up to the bottom of the permeate flow meter, which is right here on the left facing rear. And I'm going to get about the right size I need. Make a cut. And put it right in to the bottom of this flow meter. And then I'm going to run more tubing to the top of the permeate flow meter, and this is going to go to my storage tank, reservoir, wherever my filtered water needs to go. We want to put the high pressure clips on the fittings. The membrane is the high pressure side of the RO unit, and so after the pump through this membrane is high pressure, except the permeate line. But you can still use the high pressure clips here. So you want to make sure the tubing is seated all the way past the O-rings into the collet. You'll feel it stop. Then pull it out slightly and slide the high pressure clip on. Make sure the high pressure clip is sitting in between the collet and the fitting, like that. And this way the tubing will not pop out. And we'll do the same thing with the drain side as well. Pull the tubing out a little and then slide the high pressure clip on. Sometimes they're tough and you got to pull out a little harder than you would. And there it goes, it's on. And you want to do that, you want to go through the whole flow box and make sure that you have your high pressure clips installed all the way through. And we're just going to start it up. And we've got good incoming pressure here. This is the pressure that's hitting the pump. Here's the pressure coming in the RO. Here's the pressure that's going into the pump. This is the gauge we want to watch. I'm going to bring my system ratio down to 1:1. I think we talked about this earlier. And that's when both these flow meters are even. That's 1 part drain, 1 part product. And then we're going to adjust the ratio, adjust the pressure again, and turn it up to 150. Now I'm only going to get about 140 pounds out of this pump right now because our input water is so warm. our feed water is about 81 degrees today, so as it cools down the next coming weeks, that pressure could go way over 150. So what I like to do is turn it down until the pressure gauge starts going down, and then just turn it up until I know the max pressure I'm going to get with this temperature, right there, about 140 psi. I'll look at my ratio again. I like to keep it 1:1. These flow meters have about a 5 to 10% correction air factor in them, so I like to run a little bit more drain than product, just a little. And now we're making about 1.1 gallons a minute. By the way, this is a high rejection membrane. This is a GX1000 HR. This is a membrane that's a little different than our high flow membrane. This one will flow a little bit less water, about 20 to 35% less water, but the water will be a lot cleaner. So here we are with the GX1000 HR. We're tuned in at about 140 psi, and we're making about 1.1 gallons a minute, which is about 1,600 gallons a day at 140 psi. So when the water cools down a little bit, we'll be able to get this up to 150, and we'll be making about 2,000 gallons a day.